Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the classification of sedimentary rocks. This is the first topic of our unit 2. So let us see what is the classification of sedimentary rock and how they are classified on the basis of various criteria. Sedimentary rocks are classified basically on the mode of their origin. The sub-classification can be done on various criteria like sediment size, mineralogy, biochemical factors, etc. So basically, on a broader term, when we classify the sedimentary rocks, we usually consider the mode of origin of that sedimentary rock. So, for example, if you have a sedimentary rock which is formed under the fluvial environment, where the constituent sediments has suffered weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition, and the sediment has gone through all those processes which are responsible for the formation of the clastic rock. So in that case, the mode of origin is the clastic origin. This is where the sediment has experienced weathering, erosion, and transportation, and because of which that rock will be classified accordingly. Whereas in some cases, the biochemical alteration in the environment will result in the precipitation of the constituent or the dissolved minerals. In that case, that specific rock would be referred as something different from the clastic rock. So the mode of origin ultimately decides the nature of that rock as well as provides us a firm platform on the basis of which we can classify those sedimentary rocks. Now you can further classify them accordingly. Apart from the mode of origin, you can again classify them on the basis of various sub factors like the mineralogy. Say, for example, the rocks which are formed under the clastic environment, or we can say the environment responsible for weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition. The those rock can be sub-classified on the basis of grain sizes. Say, for example, conglomerates or rhodaceous who have higher grain of size, higher size of grain, whereas the ornaceous, argillaceous, where the gradually grain size decreases. So multiple factors are there on the basis of which you can classify. But on broader term, you can classify them on the node of origin. Let us see the first type of rock. So this is the clastic sedimentary rock. So crudely, the sedimentary rock can be classified into two divisions on the mode of origin. The first is clastic and another is non-clastic. So let us see the clastic sedimentary rock. Clastic sedimentary rock, the name itself derived from the term clast. Clast means sediment. Sediment are those constituents of the sedimentary rock which are formed under the effect of weathering erosion. So, say for example, you have a parent rock, okay? You have a, say for example, you have a well-established rock, maybe igneous, metamorphic, or it could be sedimentary as well. So that rock, when exposed to the agencies of weathering, that rock will mechanically disintegrate or chemically decompose, or both can happen with it. So when the rock experiences the weathering agencies, it converted into broken fragments. Those broken fragments can be termed as the sediments. Okay, so only by weathering, the prominent rock or the strong rock convert into sediments. When these sediments, with the help of the various agencies like wind, glacier, river, they are transported for a considerable distance. During this transportation, that sediment experiences erosion. So the rock which was, the rock which was intact somewhere due to the effect of weathering, it converted into fragments. Then those fragments were carried forward by the agencies like river, wind, etc. And during this transportation, they also experienced erosion. And ultimately, when the velocity of these agencies were checked, the carrying capacity of the agencies gradually decreases. And as the carrying capacity decreases, the load the agency was carrying gets precipitated. And when they get precipitated or the load gets settled down, in that case, they forms the layering. So whenever the velocity of the agencies are checked, the deposition happens. Basically, deposition can be seen in the depository basins. Okay, because there are some depositional basins where the river, supplies the sediments. So in depositionary basins, the sediments get deposited, and after that, due to the continuous overlying compaction of the sediments, because the layer by layer, the sediment will come, and as the layers will increase, it will put pressure on the lower layers, and because of that pressure, the immature sediments will turn over to mature sediments. And then the process like compaction, lithification, cementation, etc., categorized under diagenesis, converts those immature sediments into mature sediments. So those mature sediments are a sedimentary rock is termed as clastic sedimentary rock because it has gone through all processes which are responsible for the formation of clastic sedimentary rocks like weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition, etc. So a clast is involved in the formation of this sedimentary rock, then that sedimentary rock can be definitely referred as clastic sedimentary rock. So another broader division of the sedimentary rock is non-clastic sedimentary rock. So non-clastic sedimentary rocks are further subclassified as chemical, organic, and residual. So when you say that the sedimentary rock is non-clastic, that means you are referring that there is no such thing which can be referred as classed. Means though it is a sedimentary rock, but there are no such constituent which can be termed as a sediment because sediments are converted, sediments are developed by the weathering, erosion, transportation, etc. In these rocks, we won't get such kind of process of formation. We won't get weathering, we won't get erosion, transportation, deposition, etc. So there is no formation of clast and hence no involvement of the clast or the sediment in the formation of these rocks, and hence they are called as non-clastic sedimentary rocks. So what are the criteria or what are the mode of origin of these rocks? The mode of origins are chemical, organic, and residual. So let us see what are these origin and how they are responsible for the formation of non-classic sedimentary rock. Chemical sedimentary rocks. Okay, so it is purely categorized under chemical formation because these rocks are formed under the influence of chemical alterations. Say, for example, you have a hydrothermal fluid, and in that hydrothermal fluid, you have lots of mineralized matter, okay? Because if the water is hot, okay, it dissolves lots of mineral in it. Say, for example, that hot water has dissolved the calcite mineral. Calcite is the calcium carbonate. So when it dissolves the calcite in it, okay, and the water is hot, so in that case, it will not precipitate. But gradually, when the temperature will goes down, the water will start losing its dissolved mineral matter. And when the temperature of the water goes on decreasing continuously, at certain point, the dissolving capacity of the hydrothermal solution, becomes very less, and that water becomes oversaturated with that mineral. In that case, the precipitation will occur. And in that precipitation, that calcite which was dissolved in that hydrothermal solution will precipitate as limestone. So there was no involvement of weathering, erosion, and transportation. There was only the dissolution of the calcite and the precipitation of the calcium carbonate in the form of limestone. So in this case, this rock can be classified as the chemical sedimentary rock. A best example is chemically formed limestone. Limestone can also form organically, but here we are discussing about the chemically formed sedimentary rock where the limestone is chemically formed by the precipitation due to oversaturation. Second is organic sedimentary rock. So as in the chemical sedimentary rock, the chemical alterations are involved. in sedimentary rock which are formed under the influence of organisms can be classified as organic sedimentary rock. Here, the organisms are responsible for the formation of these rocks. Say, for example, you have an organism who is having the shell of calcium carbonate, okay, in the marine environment. So there are millions and trillions of such animals in the ocean, okay, they are concentrated at some location. And on their death, say for example, they got dead, and all their dead skeleton will get deposited on the ocean floor. So when these skeletons will get deposited on the ocean floor, gradually, the layer by layer, all the dead animals will put their skeletons on the ocean floor, and slowly it will convert. It will be converted into a sedimentary formation. So that sedimentary formation, which are purely attributed to the organic matter, in that case, you can call it as an organic sedimentary rock. You can see in the picture how the dominance of the organism you can observe over here. Okay, this is a very, it is not a pure organic sedimentary rock. It is just a representative diagram, representative picture. But where the organisms are involved or they have a major share, in that case, you can call it as a organic sedimentary rock. The coal, even the coal or the lignite can be termed as organic sedimentary rock because the trees and the plants are involved in it. So accordingly, you can classify them as an organic sedimentary rock. There are certain rocks which can also be classified as a biochemical sedimentary rocks, where the chemical alterations as well as the organic matters both are they both are involved in the formation of those rocks. In that case, you can classify them as a biochemical sedimentary rock. Okay, so the fourth is the residual sedimentary rock. Okay, this is the third one actually in non-clastic rock, but overall it is the fourth. Residual sedimentary rock is nothing but the concentration of the weathered matter. Say, for example, if you have a rock, and in that case, those intact rock is experienced by weathering, and that rock is converted into sediments. But due to the absence of the carrying agencies like river water, those rocks get accumulated over and over at the same place or at the same location. This kind of in situ accumulation gives rise to the concentrates, okay, because the unwanted materials removes away and the concentrates get leached out, okay. In that case, those material which act as a residual or which remains as a residue gives rise to the residual sedimentary rocks, okay. Residual comes from the residue means which is left behind, so those concentrates which are left behind develops the residual sedimentary rock, and in that case, those rocks are concentrated in some kind of specific leach out. The best example is the laterite. The picture you're observing on your screen is the laterite, which is the concentrates of iron oxides. You can see here it is red in color because it is concentrated with the iron oxide. So the residual sedimentary rocks does not involve erosion transportation, it only involve weathering and the residual concentration. Laterite, bauxite are the well-known example of these kind of rock. So the it is a summarized slide for this classification of sedimentary rock. You can see here the clastic and non-clastic, where it is referred as chemical organic. In clastic rock, you can see conglomerate, breccia, sandstone, shell, mudstone is there. Whereas in chemical and organic, you can see that evaporites. These rocks are formed due to evaporation of saline water. Gypsum halide is an example. Carbonate rocks, as I already told you, the example of limestone. Okay, if the organism are involved, you can call it as a biochemical. If only the organic rock is all organisms are involved, okay, in that case you can call it as a organic sedimentary rock, where the coal lignite is an example. Even the limestone is also example, which is completely formed with the help of organisms, or the radiolarian ooze are there. So this is a summarized slide of the classification of sedimentary rock. Yeah, as I told you, the plastic rock can be sub-classified on the basis of their grain size, and you can see here in this chart, gravel, sand, mudstone, and accordingly you can classify them as rhodaceous, argillaceous, arenaceous, etc. Okay, They are the subclassification of the. Then you can see the metallurgical classification. We have already seen this diagram in our earlier lecture. You can see here the rocks, sedimentary rocks can be classified on the basis of mineralogy also. Okay, you can see here how three corners are assigned with different concentrates, and when the position changes, the mineralogy changes, and accordingly, the name of the rock is changes. So you can classify them, you can sub-classify them on the basis of mineralogy too. So this was all about the classification of sedimentary rock. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can put your question in the chat box through the WhatsApp, or I'm sharing the link for the remedial coaching. If you find any query regarding this class or the earlier class, you can put your doubts through that remedial coaching link, and I will clarify it as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your patience listening.